start to the music, the music, the music has made me the music, the music, the music hazy. The music, the music, the music has made me the music, the music, the music hazy.
That leads me to our wild out topic. Now, in closing, everyone touched on this, and I'm just going to release the elephant out the cat out there. Everyone touched on it.
All right. Yeah.
Boom. All right? I think I'm coming with a different angle. Now, I'm not touching
Don't
on
make me
Survivor.
nervous.
I'm not touching on Survivor. I didn't see it. I didn't watch it.
Oh, okay.
I have no time for it. I have no patience for it. How I feel about R.Kelly is how I feel about R.Kelly. That's not going to that documentary is not going to change it. And when I say that is like, and I'm a father of a daughter. So I speak my views. I know my views may come off crazy, but I tell people like, look, I don't agree with what R. Kelly did. I think he's a sick fuck. I knew he was a sick fuck 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm putting out there. And I tell people TP2 was a classic then, and it's
sure
still a
is.
classic now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's like the most hurtful thing to say. But like that's the last album that I truly enjoyed from R. Kelly, and now I can't even listen to it. And now I have to be more mindful of whatever R. Kelly song he wrote, for other people.
And that was eye-opening for me as well. But now the thing is with R. Kelly, I'm gonna put it like this: he's a sick fuck. He needs help. You feel me? And honestly, the only people I blame in the R. Kelly situation is ourselves. Because us, the younger generation then, not to make this go out of hand, but like I told people, when I seen the tape, you feel me? This was like on Kaza. I've never seen some stuff like that before in my life. I'm talking as a young boy. Yeah, no, absolutely. But I was like, what is this dude R. Kelly doing? You feel me?
Yeah.
And now it's like, and I only say that because in that mindset, I knew that was wrong then.
Yeah.
All right? So I'm just putting myself in that mindset then. I knew that was wrong. Like, yeah. We don't do that. I don't even watch that. I'm not even subscribing to this. Now, to fast forward now, to re-condemn him, I feel that's the problem. And to bring him through the court of social opinions, I feel that's a problem. Because I feel if he was to ever get a fair trial, what happened to innocent until proven guilty? Now, the situation...
Well, we could play his song with Jay-Z.
Oh, shit. But see, I'm glad this is not about surviving R. Kelly. The bigger issue is what surviving R. Kelly has done. Now, in light of surviving R. Kelly, I'm pretty sure you heard...
But do you think that's an issue because of the documentary? Do you think it's an issue, or do you feel like it's more, about being aware and hearing different stories?
I feel like... Honestly, No, continue.
Because I feel like people that are abused in that sense, they need to hear other stories for them to come out a little bit. So I don't feel like the documentary created an issue. I just feel like it created awareness that was much needed because a lot of people swept that shit under the rug for a long period of time.
I'll say this. Because the topic's not even R. Kelly, it's actually what it's done. So I'll answer both questions. I don't think it was swept under the rug. I felt that it was addressed because it was addressed. Because I grew up during the time. Like I said, I knew that was wrong then. But what did people do? They did not address it as what it was then, because either it was they didn't know how to handle it, or his celebrity was too much to even address it. But the fact of the matter was, there was legal penalties, for that. He did go to court for that. He did. I remember all of this. This was on the media. They did drag his name through the dirt. You feel me? They did all of that, and then he dropped Chocolate Factory, and we all forgot.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem.
Wait, no. That's not the problem. The problem is us. That's what I'm pointing the finger at. Because we was young kids then listening to his music, and then we bumped Ignition like it was nothing. And now as adults, 20 years later, we're dragging that man's name to the dirt. And I'm like, that's not fair. That's not fair to him, because he's already got his name dragged through the dirt. He already went to court. He already went through all of that shit. You feel me?
Yeah,
he knew he was a sick fuck.
But he has more allegations now with the whole sex cult and these girls being held against their will and all that stuff.
You're absolutely right. And see, I'm not avoiding that.
So that's why
we knew that
it's a different tone now.
No, but see, that's the part that I was trying to tell people. We knew that too. Up until say 2016, like this stuff all hit all media, major news outlets. Like anyone who was in tune with the news and celebrity trending stuff, you get what I'm saying? They saw all of this. And that's what I'm saying. I'm just being honest to the situation. If our eyes was open to this, we all was aware. And then the part that was even crazier to me was the clip from the Surviving R. Kelly, which I did see because I did not remember from the 90s. But they asked him back then, "Do you like young women?" And then he even said, "Would you like?" But the point, if you see, we knew this.
Yeah,
we knew this. Now we're trying to put him through the fire again. I'm like, bro, I'm not supporting what he does. Like I said, he's a sick fuck and he needs help. What I'm not supporting is dragging his name through the dirt again. Because if you're gonna eventually want him to go, because my example was Bill Cosby. Before Bill Cosby stepped in the courtroom, he was guilty
of it.
No, absolutely.
Then why,
if you're guilty, you're guilty.
I wouldn't care if his name is dragged through the mud or not.
But the thing is, you're supposed to give a person an innocent. You're innocent until proven guilty. That's the view. You're innocent until proven guilty. And now, you're absolutely right. You feel me? If you don't care for the person, so be it. And I understand. But then what I'm saying is, you're opening a box of Pandora. Because once you open that box, you can't close it. Once you let the court of public opinion take over, how would someone ever get a fair case? Let's say hypothetically it's us on a lower level. Say I get into a vehicular homicide and this turns and goes viral. How are you going to pick jurors? You think jurors don't have a phone? You think they don't watch the news? You think how are you going to get people with a non-biased opinion towards the situation after it's been propagated for almost 2.5 weeks that he's a bad man, you did this, you got left-wing media, right-wing media painting their picture, and it's like, yo, this is crazy. Then I'm supposed to go to court in front of the 12 people who were supposed to be my peers and view me as neutral and innocent until proven guilty. That's what I'm saying. Once you open that box, you can't close it.
Yeah.
Social media is everywhere.
When he finally does get, depending on the charges,
but the same thing with Bill Cosby.
A jury that's going to be available to give an honest opinion.
They can't. And that's my problem I have with it. And now from answering that question to go on to what Surviving R. Kelly has done, because it's funny because the topic has nothing to do with that. It's that in light of Surviving R. Kelly, the genius mind somewhere in a dark cave decided to do the Leaving Neverland. I'm pretty sure you heard of this.
Yeah.
Now,
because I was just about to say this is similar to what Michael Jackson went through.
And now the same shit is exactly the same thing. And now the reason why I don't like R. Kelly is for the same reason I don't like this Leaving Neverland. And I used this example, say, on my show when I explained it. I was like, hey, we knew Michael Jackson was a sick fuck. Like, I'm sorry, if you're in your 30s, if you're in your late 20s, if you know this. This is not breaking news. None of this is breaking news. Not even the R. Kelly shit. Like, you feel me? It's like, and that's the, so to get past that, it's like, all right, we're going to drag his name through the dirt again. And now, all right, that's the shit I got an issue with. But then again, the issue I have is that you have a generation of kids now that now will only view R. Kelly and say Michael Jackson as the image that these people has painted them in these documentaries. And that's what I have a problem with. Now, and when I say that, it's like, yeah, R. Kelly's a sick fuck. But then the thing is with me is that him being a sick fuck and being a great musician, they kind of don't meet in the middle. But then again, he's still a sick fuck. But I understand why people won't listen to his music because he's a sick fuck. So I get it. Exactly. I get it. So, I'm not the one to fucking point fingers, but then it's say like my son. Michael Jackson is an influential figure who's transcended generations. My grandmother listened to Michael Jackson and Jackson 5. My mother listened to the Jackson 5 and Michael Jackson. I listened to Michael Jackson. My son listened to Michael Jackson. Like, if you see where I'm going, I'm like, bro, like, his music has transcended damn near 4 generations, 5 generations. Now, the point I'm trying to get to is, okay, it's easy to condemn R. Kelly. Do we condemn Thriller? Do we condemn Beat It?
Yeah. We had the same discussion on the Internal Course show. And but then, because now we're in this whole cancel culture where, now it's like with Bill Cosby, now is R. Kelly, now we're talking about Michael Jackson again. And then we also talked about Chris Brown and,
absolutely.
it's just, You
But
know,
see, the
I get
thing
what you're
is,
saying.
the thing is with me is that when like you said, we all touched on it, but now I feel that the way I'm viewing it is because I feel like I'm coming from a different angle, and I'm not saying that I'm coming from a complete left field, but I feel that the way I view it is that his music is way bigger than him. I feel that there's going to be a generation like my son. My son doesn't need to know he's a sick fuck. That's how I personally feel. Like my son
Yeah,
doesn't
but
need to
he
know.
will know eventually.
No,
It's like,
absolutely. But I feel that the shit that made his music great and him a sick fuck is two totally separate things. Like my son doesn't need to know that he was a sick fuck and stop listening to Beat It. Like if that makes any
right.
sense, it's like the music is still good.
Yeah, I get what you mean, but I just don't feel comfortable with supporting someone's artistry. And I know what he was singing, in particular about R. Kelly. He was singing about, the
Oh no.
whole Aaliyah album was probably about young girls. Like even just thinking about his, sexualized songs is he's envisioning probably young girls. Like he was hanging out at high schools when he was in Chicago. Like he would hang out at the high school, and people thought that was okay. The security guard thought that was okay. Like different stories like that. That makes me feel like this nigga is, a sick fuck, like you've been saying, and I don't want to support that at all. And I feel like, like you said, we knew this information, but we need to nip that shit in the bud now. And I think that's what this documentary is giving us the opportunity to do that now, because now we have actual evidence. Because before we had just the Aaliyah, the marriage certificate, but then we had her parents saying like, oh, that's not true. And then, people are getting paid off. That's how, certain people got, that's how Michael Jackson really got acquitted. A lot of people said that they got paid
But
off,
then
and then now they can't talk about.
That's my biggest part of the argument, though, is like, all right, they got paid off, but then, like I said, like, I feel the people in the corner, like, say right now, how can I paint a picture? Say me. I'll use me as an example. Say I was one of the victims, and you were the person in my corner, and you tell me to settle out with Michael Jackson, we could get X amount of million, would be. I feel that you're a bigger, you feel me? You're a bigger monster than the person doing the actual crime. And that's how deep that I'm going with it. But then to bring it back and drag him through the dirt, like, put it like this: R. Kelly, I get. I have no problem with people condemning R. Kelly. You feel me? I look at him as a sacrificial lamb, because it's like, yo, you can cut R. Kelly off, but I'm like, how you gonna cut Michael Jackson off? And the funny thing is, I asked people this, and I've had this conversation with several people, even after we touched on it on our show. And I was just like, how do you honestly, you get what I'm saying? How do you honestly cut Michael off? And then people just like, it's hard, but I'm like, yeah, it's easy to cut R. Kelly off. I get it. Like he's the sacrifice.
Because he's not like a true comparison when it comes to.
Oh, Michael was way worse. He was touching the little kids, man. I'm sorry. He was having sleepovers with little kids. Wait. Yeah. You said he was a sick fuck because he was hanging out. R. Kelly was hanging out with high schools. This man was having sleepovers with little children who were defenseless, who just idolized his music and thought he was a cool person to be around. Who was a bigger predator in this situation? But then again,
Michael. But
then it's like, how do you stop?
With either.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't agree with either.
Crazy.
But then it's like, I don't agree with either. But it's easy to condemn R. Kelly, like his no R. Kelly music. But do we turn off? Do we burn our Michael Jackson memorabilia? This is a real question. Do we?
Yeah, okay.
And the thing is, everyone is giving me the response you've given me.
Point, then yes.
Wait, but the thing is that I'm not trying to put you or anyone in a corner when I say that. I use that as a real thinking point, because everyone has given me that response. It's like, like I had my manager at the job even tell me, "Wow, Billie Jean was actually a true story to me. That song was so that." And I waited till he said all of that, and then I hit him with, "Okay, after leaving Neverland, are you going to stop listening to his music the same way you did R. Kelly?" Moment of silence. Moment of silence. Because I told him, like, yo, this music touched you like you said, if this hit you in a certain part of your life, like, wow, because that's how music is. Somebody puts a song on, and like, wow, I remember when this came out. oh, this was like 7th grade, or dang, this was the summer of '98, or this was dang 2011. You get what I'm saying? So that's how music is. Like you could put Purple Haze on right now by Cam, and I remember exactly where I was living, what I was doing, what time of year it was. I was like, yes. You get what I'm saying? It's just certain albums that just like bring me back to that. Now I just say this to I just say this like, yo, it's not to keep it going, but I don't think people could shut Michael out that easily. I don't think they will.
No.
I don't think they will. And then again,
that's evident because of like the trial and all of that. People were still supporting him. So
and then that just shows. But then that only shows the point that I was trying to make, that we're the sicker fucks in the beginning, because we knew this then and accepted it. You bring it back to us now and accept. Because the thing that's funny with the R. Kelly thing, because I'm pretty sure you touched on this on your show, is that after the Surviving R. Kelly came out, his streaming numbers went up by double.
Oh yeah, well now because kids are curious.
By double.
People that weren't around then when R. Kelly was popular.
But wait,
they want to know like, ooh, what is this song about? Like, who is R. Kelly?
But
so that's why
isn't that mind-boggling?
His numbers spiked.
There's people that's condemning him, like say ourselves, that don't support him and what he's done and will stop listening to the music. But people who have seen that, even adults, will be like, oh, I remember that. Oh, I forgot about. Damn, he wrote that, and pull it up. Or say young adults or young kids who've never heard R. Kelly will hear these hits. They say he was at 3 million followers or listeners on Spotify. He jumped up to 5.5 million.
Yeah, he's on Billboard charts now. He's charting.
Yeah, wait. But then again, I only use this as a point to be like, I'm like, wait, who's the sicker fucks in this situation?
Yeah.
It's like,
you're completely accurate, it's just not cool at all.
It's like we've seen
weird.
The data is there, the evidence is concrete, but yet we're gonna bump this shit because but then again, that's why I said it's like, yo, this is just, scary water to thread on. But then again, like I said, I'm glad that we both touched on this. This was something we definitely didn't we skate over. But the one thing that I will say in closing on this topic, regardless on if they did it or not, I just feel in these last few years that they've been taking a great hit on our black heroes. Well, granted, they're sick fucks. They're sick fucks. They're not a hero. They should never be considered as heroes in the first place. But then again, it's just when you look at the if it happens so often, I forgot the saying, but it's like it's too often to be a coincidence. It's like Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, Michael Jackson.
Yeah, but it's not like they're making up the accusations.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because, it's certain people that got paid off in all these situations.
And wait, like I said, and those are the people who are even bigger, sicker fucks.
Yeah, they are.
You feel me? Like, you knew this was wrong, and you accepted this in the moment, or the people in your corner told you. Like, that's how deep I get with this, man. Like, that's the thing. Is like I said, I have no tolerance for it at all. So I don't ever want this to get, screwed. Like, yo, Piff is a support. No. There is no gray area for this. There's zero gray area.
Because they even tried to come after Jay-Z. They was like, oh, Jay-Z used to like young women. Look at how he married Beyonce and all this other stuff. So now people are just reaching.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the shit that I don't honestly like. But then when you see the evolution of, say, this generation, and like I was going back to the original topic, the court of public opinions. Like this, like I already feel the box is open. But then again, it's like until it gets to the point that we see this affecting people, or jurors can't have a phone, or they're pre-selected, no phones or media for 48, like that's going to eventually come to the point. Like it sounds like a joke now, but just think about it in the court of law or in certain situations, because the media it's a 24-hour news cycle. I've been getting updates since we've been casting. My computer got updates coming in, and it's just like, yo, this is just, the information is there. So how you want someone to have a non-biased opinion in certain topics when everyone has an opinion that's biased?
Yeah.
Like every news article. You listen to Fox, young black kid get killed by police officer. You listen to CNN, police officer defending himself from an aggressive black man. Like, you get what I'm saying? It's like everyone has their own.
Everybody like flips the
and then you're supposed to listen to this shit and then
fit.
how you're supposed to have a clean thought view when you're going. But like I said, the court of public opinions, I find that to be the biggest thing to be out of the Surviving R. Kelly and Leaving Neverland. Because watch, that's going to get to the point where people is going to be guilty before they even hit into a courtroom. It's not even going to be. It's going to be pointless to get a lawyer. pointless.
Right.
Pointless.
Yeah. I completely agree. The world is crazy.
Yeah, it's
and
evolving.
yeah.
But I'm not going to keep you hostage for much longer. I find this to be a phenomenal interview. I found this to be, we struck on
this is
great
fun.
points. Absolutely, I know it wasn't in person, but I think I was able to still get at least 75% of that energy or 80% of that energy that we was looking for, So, but then with that being said, this is going to be a monumental cast, the first one of the year, and I think it's going to be a good one. I mean, first guest of the year, so this is going to be a good one. So let's put it down in history. And like I said, once again, it's a pleasure for having you join us. I am the host, Sir PifferyGoodz. You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at PiffBeats. And our lovely guest, Danielle, take it away. Tell us where they can find you. Plug, get your promo on. Please, we appreciate you coming out. I mean that sincerely, but definitely, this is your time. Plug. Where can we find you? Where can we hear you? Where can we read you?
Yeah, you could follow me on Instagram at Danielle.FUTW. And also on Twitter at Danielle.FUTW. And of course, every Wednesday, we're a podcast on North.fm, the Internal Quest Show with Danielle. That's every Wednesday on Mixcloud. And you can also check us out on internalquest.com. And also, I have Music Geek News. That's my YouTube channel.
There we go.
That's going to officially launch later on this month in February. So I'm excited about that. I'm just patiently waiting because, like, last year, it was a lot of music. I'm just patiently waiting for, like, some crazy people to drop stuff. So that's what that's going to be on
You know what? I might want to have you back for our hip-hop debate because we didn't have our 2018 hip-hop debate.
Oh, good. Yeah.
You feel me?
Because the Internal Quest Show was live when that whole Drake and Pusha T thing happened. So we got to hear Pusha's response to Drake, and he talked about his son and all of that. It was like a live action
real-time response
from the crew.
Absolutely. Oh, yes. That's what we need. See? So so when we strike it up, I mean definitely want you guys to be there because I find that to be that's gonna be epic within itself. But let's get this started. Like I said, thank you. I appreciate you coming out, joining us for the show. And look forward to you probably joining us again for another future show.
The music, as we make the music, the music.